Hello, everyone. We are live, and I'm here testing this out as I do another of one of my last week reviews. So I wanted to come on here and test that out to see how everything is going with it. And if you see this and you have any feedback, you can always tell me, and I would be interested in hearing from you. Get interested in hearing from you. All right. I was checking that to make sure that it sounded pretty decent here, and it looks like my video is not screwing up. So we're gonna keep this thing going. Hopefully, we get people to join. But if you're not, we're gonna have a great time. Doesn't matter when you see this; it's gonna be a great time because I'm here about to clown, have a great time, talk about everything that's been going on. Looks like everything is much better. And there's just so many things that happened that really got me going that I want to just sit back, relax for a few minutes, and we're going to talk about these things. And I'm going to turn that off. Maybe that'll help a little bit with the sound. Hopefully, y'all bear with me. I'm turning it back on because it's kind of hot. So, y'all, we're going to have it in the background for right now. Anyway, we got to talk about Nick Cannon. If you haven't heard by now, I don't know how you haven't heard, Nick Cannon was on his show, Master Class. He made some crazy well, depending on who you talk to, he made some crazy comments about Jewish people and everything. And how all of that went down, Viacom CBS decided, you know what, Nick, you can hit that road. Don't come back no more. They fired Nick Cannon, and he basically lost control of his show. And that's something because we always assume, because his name's on the show, Nick Cannon presents Wild and Out. We all just assume that he owned that show. But as we find out now, a lot of times with people who create and then when they sell things over to a big company like that, they actually lose control. While they're the face of it, they're not actually the ones who are, actually running things. They don't have the power. They can be fired. So that's what happened with him. They let him go because it was crazy. We all were waiting on it, man. Tuesday night. We're all pumped up for another great episode of Odd and Out. And then we tune in to VH1. And what do we see? The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. See, when I watch it, I'm on my phone. I thought the app might have messed up. I'm like, okay, well, this is odd. Maybe the app messed up, and I checked a few things, and I was like, well, forget it. So we thought we were getting an episode, and we got Fresh Prince. Good show. Wasn't really trying to hear it, see it then. But my thing is, with why I bring it back up, we have to talk about it with Nick. Like, what happens next with Wild and Out? Do they keep Wild and Out without him? Because I think it's going to be odd to keep that without him. And also because a lot of those cast members who are known from that show are pretty loyal to Nick. Luckily for a lot of them, they are able to spin off. Like when it comes to like a DC Young Fly, Carlos Miller, Chico Bean, they were able to come together and do the 85 South show. So they got their own platform and they're bigger and better. So if they were like, you know what, we gonna rock with Cannon, they're gonna be alright. I know there's a few other ones too that will be okay as well. But there's a bunch of them. Got to be thinking, like, you know what? I like I like this money. I like this money a lot. I don't think I can just leave. I think I'm gonna stay. Nick, sorry about the comments you made, but I'm gonna stay. I'm sorry, man. I gotta get this money. Should have thought about that, but that's gonna happen with them. Um, I'm gonna look up and see exactly the comments that were made. Look like he's gonna be able to keep his job on the Masked Singer for Fox. So they're like, we're gonna rock with you. And it seems like there is a misunderstanding between VH1 Viacom and Nick. But this is Nick's response to being let go and everything that happened. This is from July 15th from Nick Cannon. First and foremost, I extend my deepest and most sincere apologies to my Jewish sisters and brothers for their hurtful and divisive words that came out of my mouth during my interview with Richard Griffin. They enforced the worst stereotypes of a proud and magnificent people, and I felt ashamed of the unformed and naive place that these words came from. The video of this interview has since been removed. While the Jewish experience comes more than 5,000 years, there is so much I have yet to learn. I have had at least a minor history lesson over the past few days, and say that it's eye-opening will be a vast understatement. Basically, like on my podcast, I use words and reference literature I assume to be factual to uplift my community, and say it turned out to be hateful propaganda and stereotypical rhetoric that pained another community. He continued. For this, I am deeply sorry, and now together we can write a new chapter of healing. But yeah, that all that happened, and it basically got rid of Nick and even Wilder Out, who started back in 2005. But now Nick has kind of, changed things up a little bit. He's like, I think he's understanding, you know what? While I may not have said the best thing, y'all ain't gonna just find me and not let me get my property that I built up from you all. Y'all done made a lot of money off this thing. I need to still get paid for my content. Give me my content. He basically like, he said, I created a $1 billion brand that expanded across a multi-tiered empire that is still Viacom's biggest digital brand, touring business, talent discovery, system, a successful restaurant franchise. Apparently, I didn't know anything about that. Based on trust and empty promises, my ownership was swindled away from me. For Viacom to be so deceptive is no surprise. They have been mistreating and robbing our community for years, depending talents on their biggest brands like Love and Hip Hop, and all of BT programming, and of course, Wild and Out. So I get it, man. He was like, look, I know what I said was wrong, but you all need to step up and give me back my money. Give me my property back because we built this brand. You all doing shady practices that swindled me out of complete ownership of it. And now, since I said something you all don't like, y'all like, you know what? Hit the road, Jack. You don't come back no more, and you don't get no more money because we got all your rights. Nah, man, it just don't work like that. We have to come together and do something better than that. Like, what you doing, man? But hopefully tone things will get better for Nick and everything. I think they're gonna work things out. I think. Wild and Out is over. I just now if they're able to reach an agreement and he's able to buy it back, he has plenty of people that want him on their team. You know, Diddy has reached out with Revolt has come out and said, "Hey, Nick, you come on over here, bring Wild and Out with you. We got you. We got the platform for you." Oprah's own network pretty much said the same thing. Hey Nick, come on over here, but you gotta bring Wild and Out. We got you. I think they more want to see the potential in having a Wild and Out brand on their network than the actual Nick Cannon themselves. All right, Mega Flint says hello. Hello, how's it going? Thanks for joining in, and we are here just talking about everything that's going on from this past week. You know, last week review. Hopefully everything is going great with you as we go through the review. As I talk about, I'm finishing up more about the thoughts and takes on Nick Cannon and everything that happened with him and him pretty much losing out on the bottom out property because he doesn't own it and they're not gonna give it to him. He'll be okay because he has all that money, but he ain't gonna have that bottom out money. All right, we're gonna keep this thing going. Going to the next topic here. Maybe I'll switch it around a little bit. Man, did y'all hit last and it just made the cut, but it made the cut. August Alsina. What you doing, August? What you doing, Augie? Come on, man. What you doing? How you gonna come on out here and make this? Because you know Will and Jada last week went out and made um, a lot of a lot of noise. They came out and talked about the relationship or entanglement that Jada was in with August, and he just didn't. I guess he didn't like it. I mean, a lot of this stuff is really shady because he's been only coming out with a lot of stuff now just to help promote his music and the album that came out. And it looks like that is working, but at the same time, man, come on, man. So he came out with a song featuring Rick Ross. And that song was called Entanglement. Now I'm not gonna lie to you. I listened to it for about 30 seconds to a minute, and the song is but it is trash, in my opinion. Very disappointing. I was like, come on, man, Just don't put this out. Just keep it. You had something good with that Nanya remix you did. Great. That was okay. You did it. You did your thing with that. Just gotta keep it at that. You decided to keep on going, and it was it should have stopped. You to have that song out. I don't have much confidence in this. He dropped the ball with that one, man. He definitely dropped the ball with that. As we're gonna let's keep things going with that. Nothing too much more really happened from that. He just dropped out last night, so I was like, you know what, it made the cut, so I'll talk about it on the show. Now, what happened? Yes, we have to talk about it, man. The team out of Washington, formerly known as the Washington Redskins, we talked about this last week and everything. They're in the process of changing their nickname because they finally realized the races that it's kind of racist and everything. So, so the pressure was finally got to them, and they're gonna change that name. Great, but it come out now? I'm gonna tell you something. Daniel Snyder, you about to be gone. Then there's no way you're gonna be able to keep this team after all the allegations that's coming out now. You have 15 former Washington women employees coming out saying that they were uh, they were sexually harassed by people from Daniel Snyder's inner circle. You know, everybody's doing whatever. So it's not looking too good for them. I don't think they're gonna make it out of that. I think they all are gonna get fired for that. Shout outs to the Washington Post for breaking this story. Also, shout outs to the Washington Post for breaking the story, but you have to pay to see the full story. So that was smart on their part. So they broke that story. Huge news. I made a video about that earlier in the week as well. If you want to go back and check it out, I would appreciate that. Yeah, man, it's not looking good for them. To me, this is becoming a situation where I think everyone needs to just be gone. Have you heard the rumors about Jay Gruden and former players on that team as well? I think Jay Gruden is not the coach of that team anymore. Coach of that team anymore. One Rivera is. Well, Rivera's like, man, what did I get myself into here? What is going on? I think everyone needs to be blackballed and do some time and just get to do better, man. Because this is not acceptable. Does not matter if you have money or not. You should not be able to do the things that these guys are accused of doing. It's just a sad situation. Speaking of other sad situations, we have to acknowledge the passing of Aya Rivera. She was a Glee star, actor, to sing, to do it all. We have to say rest in peace to her. She passed away on an accident, and she went missing, and they were able to find her, and basically she ended up on her last thing that she did was basically making sure that her daughter was safe. Reminiscent of what happened with Shad Gasper of the WWE, basically in the same situation there. So rest in peace to both of those individuals, and prayers out to the families involved. Now we are we are all sad about this, but fans, I got to lay off Big Sean and let this man grieve. He came up with a statement. Yes, he did. Let this man breathe because you all are out here wilding. You all are wilding out this. Complaining why he ain't doing more, why he didn't come out early and say this, and that. I'm like, man, this dude is going through it. He didn't have to make a statement if he doesn't want to. He eventually did come up with a statement. But people getting on and they were like, man, he made this song years ago about her. He needs to be canceled because of that song now. I'm like, what are you talking about? There's literally a video of her on a game show, lip syncing show, actually lip syncing to the song. So I'm like, I think they're good. You all don't have to go back and try to find something to get this man canceled. Let this man grieve and not have to worry about all of this. Because sometimes with how everyone does things on social media and everybody want to do this, go back and do all this checking and stuff, that causes the issues with the entertainers. That's what you're seeing right now with Tamar Braxton, who the alleged suicide situation with her. But as we've been finding out, she's doing much better now than she was a couple of days ago. She seems to be in hopefully on the mend, and she's going to get better and better, and we're going to be able to see what she was thinking. We're going to be able to embrace her and make sure that she's healthy. So hopefully all thoughts with her and the family. That happens, man. People get caught up in this world. You can't get caught up in it. You have to make sure everything is good in you and your mental health. Mental health is very important, people. Um, I think that's pretty much all I really have for this week in review. If you will, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what kind of content you all like. I will be doing more and more live streams. Been a big thing for me this week, and it's helped grow the channel a little bit. So I'm gonna keep doing them and trying to make sure that everything goes good with them. And you never know. I may pop back on later today and do some WWE WWE previews or something like that. We might see what's going on with that. And I may do it after. I may get back into doing those because I have to come up with something else to do now since I don't have Wild Out. I think I may come back with one Wild Out video on Tuesday. Just do it like a little recap of the season. And that's what happens next. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. I will talk to you all next week. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. And you have any suggestions of any topics you want me to talk about, you just reply and I will talk about it. Remember, if you see this show, you be like, man, this guy has potential, but he needs this, and that. You can always do that by the Cash App. By this Jonathan Lyman brand on Cash App. You can check me out there. Help your boy upgrade everything and get this thing going. Without further ado, I see you. Oh, also, join me tomorrow. I'm gonna try this again with my MMA show talk before Ariel Hawaii show comes on. It was fun last week. I think I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gone.